Hi Stampers, it's Lisa. Welcome to today's live where we're going to be playing around with the legendary Ride stamp set or bundle once again. And we did this on Monday, so this is our set of dies. And then we have the coordinating stamp set that goes with it. And we're going to be making this card. On Monday, we made one that was a little more traditional. We used black, red, orange, kind of masculine colors. And then today we're going a little bit more on the feminine side, and we're going to be using some Bermuda Bay, Coastal Cabana, and then I've also got some polished pink and melon mambo. So we have some fun cards to do today. Who's ready to get crafting? Hi there, Dawn. Welcome. Welcome to those of you hopping on. Sheesh. Still working on the lighting situation here. Let me move you over to my desk. Sorry, I get a little flustered when things are not working the way I like them to. Hi, Wendy. Welcome. So today we're making this really cute card. And we're using the Legendary Ride stamp set and dies. And isn't that fun? They have the same name now. The dies and the stamp set have the same name. And we have dies that will cut out some of the images on here. So if you were to stamp the motorcycle or the wrench or the little motorcycle, oh, and then there's this little weed thing down at the bottom. So all of those have dies that coordinate with them. But then Stampin' Up! Gave us some additional dies that let us kind of make paper dolls. So I started with the base. I went ahead with this one and just stamped it out in a basic gray. And then this one here has like the motor parts to it. So I did that in silver foil. I have some rims in smoky slate. And then I have tires in basic black. I have the body to our motorcycle in Coastal Cabana. And then I have the seat and fenders as well in Bermuda Bay. So what we're going to do is we're going to just end up layering these all on top of each other and create kind of a paper dolls effect. Hinda, welcome. Have you watched us before? Janet's usually from Las Vegas. She's actually out of town this week, I believe. Welcome, Carol. So we're going to do, like I said, a kind of a paper dolls kind of feel to it. And we're going to assemble the motorcycle in all its little pieces. And I'm going to do this first because as I start working on my desk, I have a tendency to kind of make a mess. And I don't want all these little pieces to get lost. So my solution to that is to get the little pieces out of the way first. So I'm going to use the Take Your Pick tool to remove the adhesive sheet on the back of each piece. I went ahead and put adhesive sheet onto all of the cardstock I was die cutting so that they would be stickers. So then I could take and apply the tire to the rim without having to use glue, because the adhesive's already on there. And this makes it just a much neater process. And then I can take off the adhesive sheet from the back of the rim, and then we can adhere it direct to this base. So we're going to do that for both tires, and kind of by a process of elimination, I figured out kind of the order in which things get stacked. One of the things about the dies is they don't come with directions. That's why you have me as your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. It's my job to teach you how to work all of these things. So if you order Stampin' Up! From me and then you get a set of dies or a stamp set and you don't know what to do with it, contact me. That's what I'm here for. I'd love to show you how it all works and goes together. That's kind of a perk. That's how I earn my commission here, is by helping you be successful in your stamping. Okay, so we're going to put that one there. Okay, now I'm going to put the motor parts. And because this one had a white back to it already, I actually put the adhesive sheet on and had some leftover, so I wrote on it with a pen that this had adhesive sheet so I would remember. And so this one I'm just aligning right here at the top of the bike because it has this same swoop. So I'm kind of aligning everything with the gas tank. Because you'll notice when I go ahead and put this on it, we're going to use that gas tank once again as our area to line it up. And of course, the headlamp and the handlebars were easy to line up as well. And then these little pieces are the fenders and the seat, as I said. Oh, that one cut kind of funny. Okay, let's see. That one kind of split, so I'm going to run it through the die cutting machine again. And that'll actually give me a chance to show you the little mini machine. Have you guys seen this boho mini? I've been using it quite a bit. I love it. This mini machine takes a 3-inch opening instead of the 6-inch opening that our larger machine does. And this boho blue is a preview of a new in color that's going to come out with our annual catalog. And it's only available by signing up to be a demonstrator, either a business demonstrator or a hobby demonstrator, which means you just kind of get the discount for yourself. Right now, they're running a special for Celebration that you can get $175 worth of product for just $99. And if you wish, you can add on the little mini machine for another $30. The mini machine is normally $63. So for $129, you get this machine or the white one, plus the $175 of the product for $129. And it's an awesome deal. So there we go. There's our new parts. Now, if you'll notice, the fenders have a little dry embossing. Let's see if I can get a light. And see how one has a little indentation at the top and one has one at the back? So that's how I'm going to match them up to how they're have their indentations down here. Since this one has it at the front, I'm going to find the coordinating one that has it at the front and lay it right over the top. And I did a card on Monday, and the gal who won our prize patrol said she didn't have a dad, because this is the one that we did Monday, and she won a sample of the card. And so I was going to mail it to her, and she said she doesn't have a dad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restamp this, and I'm going to selectively stamp to just get "You're the Coolest" and not ink "Dad" and redo it. So I thought it was a good thing to point out because a lot of people may be passing over. Ooh, I froze. The stamp sets or certain stamp sets in the catalog because they're geared at a certain thing. Like that's why I'm doing the motorcycle in alternate colors, because everybody said, oh, it looks very Harley Davidson because it's orange and black. Well, that's just the examples in the paper. It doesn't mean you have to do it in black and orange. We could do it in the reds and make it look a little more, Honda, or do it in pinks or blues and make it a little more feminine, or, selectively ink our stamps and change up the sentiments and still have an awesome card. So there is the motorcycle part. And now we can make the card base that it goes on. Should probably gather my dies together so I don't lose them. That's the beauty of these magnetic cards. These are from Stamp and Storage, and they slide into here. And I keep the piece from Stampin' Up in it, but these sit in a cart over there under my desk where they're, labeled across the top and filed alphabetically, and they're easy to get, and then they're easy to put back. And those are available through an affiliate link on my website. Okay, our card base is going to start out with a piece of cardstock that is 11 inches by 4 1/4. Now, most of our card bases all start out with half of a sheet of 8.5 by 11. Normally, it's 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. This time, we're going the other direction, and we're doing the cut on the long side and then the score on the short side, because I wanted to do this orientation with it. And how I did this was I brought in my trimmer once again, and then I found the halfway mark. So half of the 5.5 is going to be 2 3/4. And I'm going to slice that off. And then I'm just going to spin it 90 degrees and have another layer. Now we know that all of our layers are down 1/4 inch. So because this was 4 1/4, this one's 4. Because this was 2 3/4, this is 2 1/2. And so then it's going to perfectly line up on here and have a really nice little border. But I wanted to kind of make it look like designer series paper. And so to do that, I used the Coastal Cabana ink on Coastal Cabana paper and used the stamps in the set and just kind of created my own designer series paper. Thank you, ladies, for remembering to put in hashtag Prize Patrol. I appreciate that. The more comments and shares and likes that I get, it helps me be seen on YouTube and on Facebook. So I really appreciate you doing that. And then the hashtag Prize Patrol gets you into the drawing, where I'm going to have another computer screen over here collecting everybody's name into a drawing. And then we're going to spin a wheel, and it's going to tell us who is going to win today's card. So that's why everybody's doing that. We just have to remember that it's just like Carol just did it. It has to be the hashtag Prize Patrol, all together, one word, no spaces, or the computer doesn't see it. Okay, I'm going to bring in a second piece of paper that is the same as this. It's going to be 2 1/2 by 4, and that's going to go here. And we will use our blending brushes to create a background for that. But this one we're going to stamp. Oops. So let's bring in our stamp set. There's some spare parts. I usually have a clear envelope Stampin' Up sells clear envelopes, and I will usually mount one on the inside of the case and keep all my spare parts here, because I find when they float all over my desk, I don't remember I have them. So I try to keep them with the stamp set so I remember. Okay, and on the inside, we said, right on, it's your birthday. Now on here, like I said, I'm going to use Coastal Cabana ink. And we're going to stamp kind of randomly. 30 years of accounting makes me very bad at random, but we're trying. And then I'm going to fill in the other part with the little flame. And then I'm just going to adhere that to the side. Yes, thank you, Wendy. It's tone on tone stamping. That's what they call it. Sorry. Computer's doing something funky over here. Okay. There we go. All right. So put adhesive on there, and then I'm just going to place it on here. And then, like I said, this one's going to just get centered right here in the middle. And then I have a piece that is 4 inches by 5 1/4 that we will mount on the inside. So I want this one kind of centered, but I only want adhesive on this side. I do not want it over here. It's going to glue my card shut. And we don't want that. So go ahead and see if we can center this. Thank you, Hinda. That's very sweet of you to say. I love teaching people card making. I find it so relaxing, and it helps with my depression. And I mean, we're not supposed to legally say that, it's any kind of medical benefit, but it is for me. I find it helps me quite a bit. And so I like to share that with others. This is what I turned to when I became an empty nester. When the kids grew up and moved out of the house and got their own life, I went back to Stampin' Up because I just enjoy it so much. And when we moved to a new area, which we have done several times, stamping has been a great way for me to meet new people. And just the camaraderie that we have amongst our team is just fun. And everybody's happy and upbeat, or, we try to be, because it's all around stamping. Okay. I'm going to grab some blending brushes, and I'm grabbing our standard size. We have these larger ones, and then we have a smaller size, but I'm going to go ahead with that one. And for the ground, I'm going to go, I guess, soft suede. And let's do Coastal Cabana for the top. Considered putting some greenery in the middle, but I think it looks good without it. Just going from the ground and then the sky. So I just rubbed this on my pad, giving a little bit of pressure with my finger. Then I'm going to start on here and see how that gives a round shape. I don't want that on my cardstock, so I did it kind of off, and then I'm going to go on. So this makes sure that I do not have that round circle image on here. And actually, I'm going to do these while I have them out, and you'll see why I have these in a minute. Okay, and we want a sky. Normally I do sky in balmy blue, but since we're using Coastal Cabana in the card, use some on here. If you have a tendency to be kind of heavy-handed, you may want to use Pool Party because it'll be slightly lighter, but still the same kind of shade. But one of my favorite things about Stampin' Up! Is how everything color coordinates. That if I grab Coastal Cabana, ink, ribbon, paper, any of those things, they're all going to match. And then if I run out of a certain color and I go to replace it, I'm going to get the same color again. There's no dye lots or, those sorts of things that make your colors slightly different. And it makes it match all the time, which I absolutely love. That's actually what got me into it in the very beginning, is I was a scrapbooker. And, you get halfway through an album and you go to replace one of your colors because you ran out of that cardstock and it didn't match. And there was also we had those sticker letters at the time, and I was constantly running out of certain letters in certain colors. And someone told me that Stampin' Up! Had stamps that were letters and that we could get a set of rubber stamps and letters and then buy ink pads, and we would never run out of a letter again. So I did that, and I haven't. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when COVID hit, everybody was not in a good mood. And yes, being around stampers, they had something to be happy about, which I really like. I mean, not to say we didn't have our issues, but I don't know, it was something we could bond over that kept us happy. I belong in a couple empty nest groups on Facebook, and that's what I'm always saying. These moms come in and they feel like they have, no life anymore. They've lost their purpose. And my response is, well, they always say find a hobby, but when you find Stampin' Up, you not only find a hobby, you find friends. There's so many of you that are on here that I feel like I'm friends with. We've never even met in person. But stamping gives us that, I don't know, that connection. So there is the first card. That one's finished, but I still have these other two pieces, and I'm going to show you why I have these. Remember I said they would look pretty in pink? So I did. I made pink. So I have taken my 4" by 2.5 and put it on the side. And I actually didn't do the stamping. Probably should have done that first. Because I didn't, let me show you a trick. When I do something like that, I get ahead of myself and I adhere a layer before I meant to. One of the things I'll do is come in with Post-it note and put it right there on the edge. And then when I come in with my stamping, I'm just cleaning this with the Simply Chamois. That's what it's called. Then I can use this as a mask so that when I go ahead and stamp, the second half of my bike is going to get caught with the Post-it note and not be on my other cardstock. Oh, let's do the flame while we're on this side. And there we go. Now I don't have any of my stamp stuff on that edge because I use my Post-it note as a mask. Oh, well, I have this color out. Let's do the flames on the side here. Now my polished pink is a little bit funny, and that's because I thought I had my polished pink refill in the little hole on my rack up here, and I started re-inking my pad, and I thought, that's a little bit dark, and I looked, and I had Magenta Madness ink refill that I was putting onto my polished pink pad, which is a major no-no. And so I've ordered a new refill in the actual color. And what I'm going to do when that comes is take some paper towels and I'm just going to blot out as much of this dark ink as I can and then re-ink it with the new marker and it will be fine. The new refill, actually, not a marker, but I'll get the polished pink refill and I'll be able to add it in there. I've even in the past, if something has gone really bad, if I've had somebody in class and they're working with some dark color and then they like maybe stamp onto the So Saffron or something, which is really light, I have in the past actually run them under water and rinse them out because they're a dye-based ink. That works and it allows us to still use the pad because there's nothing wrong with the foam. It's just the ink that's in it. And since it's water-based, water rinses it out. So just a tip, if you're looking to save some money after you make a goof, you can do that. Okay, so there's that one. And our sentiment. I feel like I'm doing this all out of order, but I'm kind of sticking with the color I have in front of me. So I don't know, am I in order or not? So Joanna, you said that you have done that with the ink pad. So what did you do with it? Did you rinse it out and redo it, or did you toss it and get a whole new pad? Just curious. Now I just flipped my cardstock because it's more comfortable for me to stamp this direction because I am right-handed and I didn't want to have to, go over this way. So when you're fussy cutting or stamping or whatever, don't feel like you can't rotate the paper because it is quite helpful. Okay, yes, that's the one I need. Okay, and I want to do my stamping on this. So I'm going to use my masking again. Okay, the only thing is when you turn the paper, make sure that you also turn the stamp. We don't want to have the stamp upside down, the stamped image upside down. We want it to be upside down now because I'm going from the other direction. Okay. Also, when using the Stampin' Seal, I haven't said this in a while, I tend to make the tip of it touch and then drag, and then I kind of rotate a little because I want it to snap off up here so that it still grabs. If I was to just roll and take it away, there's kind of a, I don't know, it's sticky. Like, see the little, can you see the snail kind of, the adhesive is stuck between the, there we go, you kind of see it. There's a string running from the tip of this to the card, and that makes it snap off further back, which means when I go to roll it, it's not going to grab it. So I want to make sure that it is indeed up here on the top. I also want to make sure that the case is very clean. I don't want any extra residue around here because that too will grab that adhesive and put it where we don't want it. Now, when that first came out, people had problems, getting used to the seal and how it worked because it was different than the snail that we had before. It's a similar idea, but because it's a stronger adhesive, it doesn't break off as easily. But it also means it sticks better. So it was kind of a trade-off. And I'm that one here. We also don't need too much of it too. I find a lot of people when they first start using it feel they have to go, all the way around, and you don't. You only need a little bit. It doesn't require that you cover the whole back of it. When I did the large piece, I only did the 4 corners because that was enough to make it stick. And it makes my adhesive last longer if I'm not being too heavy-handed with it. Yep. This one's running out. That's my problem. Uh-oh. Apparently I made that too big. But that's okay. We just know that it needs to be a little smaller. So since it was the same size, I'm going to knock off a 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to need a 1/4 inch on the long way too. Not sure what I did there, but easily fixed. Really not sure what I did, but okay. Because see, look, they were the same size and this one fits. So I must have picked up the wrong piece of polished pink. Oh well. It's fixed and nobody's going to know, right? We'll keep that our secret. There was no goof. And then the good news is I already have the motorcycles done. So all we have to do is put those down and we're ready to go. What do you think? It works in pink, don't you think? If you had a girl, my daughter rides a motorcycle. She was so excited to get her motorcycle license. She doesn't own a motorcycle, but she wanted that license really bad. Okay. So there it is in pinks, and here it is in Coastal Cabana and Bermuda Bay. Okay. So Valentine's Day is coming up, and I have decided that next week we are using the gnomes. This is the friendly gnomes, not to be confused with the kindly gnomes that were out at Christmas. These gnomes are spring related. So she's got little flowers in her hair. We've got a bird and a chipmunk. He's got some more flowers, and then this one's holding a heart. Now, these gnomes will actually cut out with the same dies that we used at Christmas. And so we're going to use them on these next week. And we're going to be doing some 3D items. So I made this little container using our tag dies. This is the tailor-made tags. Excuse me. And I made a little gusset in the middle and punched a hole at the top. And it holds candy. So we'll do that one on Monday. And then on Thursday, I have another one that is a box that's going to open up. And this one holds candy. And excuse me, one of the things it was designed for, the girl I got the idea from, she put the Hershey miniatures in there, and it actually holds 6 of them. You can put them 3 high and 2 deep, and they fit into this adorable little box. And now, again, she had done it with the Christmas gnomes, and I'm just turning it into a Valentine's Day idea. So I'm sure I'll have some cards for next week too, but I was just playing around with 3D items because Valentine's Day is coming, right? And wouldn't these be cute to hand out to the hairdresser, the mailman, kids at school, coworkers, any of those things? So thank you for joining me. I appreciate you being here and all of your support that you give me in doing something that I absolutely love, which is teaching you guys how to use Stampin' Up. Of course, everything I use is Stampin' Up and can be purchased on my website, which is queenbeecreations.net. There is a shop now link right off of that. and it would take you to my Stampin' Up! Replicated site. And as a thank you, please, please, please use the host code. When you go to thequeenbeecreations.net, at the top, there is a bright pink bar with a number in it, or letters and numbers, which is a host code. And if you put that into your order when you order, then I send you a set of 6 tutorials based on Stampin' Up! Product. So thank you. I'm going to now run Prize Patrol. So I will share that screen. Wait a minute. Not what I wanted. Let's see. Share screen. We had an update. It looks different. Found it. So for everyone who entered in hashtag Prize Patrol, you can see that the computer collected your name. And when we spin this, it's going to draw randomly a winner for today's card. And then all you have to do is fill out the claim form and let me know if you want pink or blue. Congratulations, Dawn. You are today's winner. As I said, there is a claim form on my website. You actually go to thequeenbeecreations.net, and in the address bar on top, you're going to add the /Prize Patrol at the end, and it takes you to a Google form where I get your address and your choice of what card you want. So thank you for joining me. Congratulations, Dawn, and I will see you right back here at 2:30 on Monday. Thanks. Bye.